Oh man, what a morning we're having. Heavy duty stuff, right? Price action going crazy. People wondering if this is really the legit breakout or if it's another fake out. Hey guys, it's Keith Allen. Glad to have you back with me. And man, like I've been working feverishly this morning. I've been posting a bunch of charts, trying to pull together my analysis for today's bit break. And like stuff is happening so fast, I just had to like drop everything and climb into it before it actually happened. I want to share a chart with you while things are live and active, and we can talk through it as we move along through the analysis here today. Of course, live chat is open as always. Love to have you join me. If you are interested, by all means, please do chime in. If you've got questions, I'll do my best to answer them. If you have insights, by all means, please share them. What we are looking at here now is the Bitcoin daily chart on FireCharts. This is order book liquidity and order flow down here at the bottom, as you can see here. So the question here, as I posted quite a bit this morning, I posted, of course, Bitcoin charts, I posted ETH charts, I posted Solana charts, I posted Doge charts, talked about some of the news, and really the pivotal thing here, for me anyways, is whether this is truly a trend reversal marking bottoms, and we're on our way out to new all-time highs from here, or if this is a fake out, another short squeeze playing out before going back to punish late longs. And the reason I say this, the reason I question this is because we have, as you can see here, liquidity stacking here at 110K. And we've had some signals here this week that quite frankly could get invalidated here today if this move continues. You could see in the last literally few minutes, we've had probably in the last 10-15 minutes, we've had all classes buying vigorously here to get through this resistance here around 108. And 108 replenished quite a few times here until it finally broke through when all the order classes started working together here. The reason I question 110, not just because of the liquidity here, but let's go ahead and look at some candle charts and see how this comes together. Pardon me for a second. So past couple days, since the monthly close anyways, or monthly open, I've been looking at trend precognition signals. We always look for new signals around daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly closes. We had all of these evolve here in the past several days because of the end of the second quarter, and so we did have a long signal here from trend precognition after a test of support, overshot, by the way, and this is here's the conflict. Yes, long signal, always positive. This is a daily time frame. Bouncing from support, positive. But look at the overshoots here of the 21-day moving average, right? Overshot it here, overshot it here. This candle obviously still has to close. And it's pushing towards that 110 resistance level, which, as you can see here, we have some confluence recently up at this level, and obviously the all-time high at 112K. All of that coming into play here. Now, why I question whether this will continue, not just because of the resistance, but also because of recent signals we've had. And yes, we had a long signal on the weekly time frame as well. This one started right out at the beginning of the week. So confident in that we would not likely revisit the lows, likely not to make lower lows from here. But not confident that we'll break this. And we've had some, how should I say, we've had some signs that there would be a breakdown from the monthly. I think we actually had, let's see. I think there was a monthly signal in here. We do have quarterly signals that are looking positive as well too here now, right? This was not, this actually wasn't here before. So this is a new signal appearing here that may change the landscape of things. So the best thing that we can do at the moment is watch what's happening here and watch to see if liquidity is moving to either strengthen resistance here, move support up higher. And so far, we're seeing, you can see it ever so slightly here, that it's just a slight shade darker here, and a ladder that comes down here. Once I boost the contrast here, it all turns white, so it's a little bit harder to see. But there's definitely some liquidity dynamics shifting here in the order book at the moment. This support went away at 107K briefly, and now it returned. I'm watching to see if this breakout comes through 110. And if it does, I'll have some more confidence in returning to price discovery this month. Otherwise, I think that there are some reasons to be concerned, right? And look, we have some profit taking here. That was expected. And if I'm not just making this up now. If you look at my analysis the past few days and past few weeks, I've been talking about profit taking up in this region. So it does make sense to me. Alex, hey, good to have you with me again, man. How do I see Sol with the new ETF approved? So this is a big deal, right? This is part of the news. And yesterday we heard of let's see, Tom Lee was talking about his move to start basically accumulating ETH to start an ETH treasury company, similarly to the way that Michael Saylor has done so with MicroStrategy. Tom Lee is going to do this for BitMine, and I'm sure I have some news posted on one of the channels here. Let's see if we have it over on the Black Knox channel, where today we saw some confirmation of that with now Digital Bits, a NASDAQ listed company, doing the same thing. The difference here is they're going to sell all of their Bitcoin holdings to start acquiring Ethereum in an Ethereum treasury play. And the reason for this is that these guys all seem to think that that ETH is going to be used heavily by banks. It's already being used in some cases. But that's the play here, is that they want in on the action. They want to control as much of the network as they possibly can. And the argument, especially from people who don't like ETH and from Solana maxis, is that, hey, maybe Solana is a better solution. Solana probably is a better solution than ETH for this utility. That remains to be seen, right? ETH has first mover advantage. There's a lot more adoption on ETH. However, Solana making a legit run. So there's been lots of news over the past couple of weeks about Solana ETFs, and now that we're seeing some approvals, and Alex, I haven't even validated that these ETF approvals have come through yet, but let's assume that they are. So the question is, where do I see Solana going now, right? So I own some Solana and was looking to add more to the position here. Let's see. Let's go over here and we can go to Solana, SDT, and take a look, right? I posted this morning that Solana after a second support test off of the 21-day moving average, now eyeing up a move here. And we're close to the 50-day moving average at 157 or so. So, can it clear this? And so far, it's not done that. So I had approached the morning thinking, and this is before we broke 108. I approached the morning thinking that we would likely be seeing a fake out here, a short squeeze that will undoubtedly be followed by an attempt to liquidate late longs. That's kind of been the wash and repeat mode that the market has been in this past year, really. And so can ETH break through this? Ultimately, would have to break above, reclaim the 200-day moving average. That's at about 167 right now, to head to the upside and really get back on its trajectory. we broke through support here. So this is done at this point. I mean, this at this point, we could probably redraw this. And I hate redrawing, but let's go ahead, because this broke down already, right? So the way I like to draw these is to utilize the line chart, because it eliminates the volatility of the wicks that we get on candle charts, and it makes it a little bit easier to place. So let's do this. Let's draw this out, and now look at this as really kind of a new shape on this triangle, and see where this gets us. These breakouts tend to happen, or breakdowns tend to happen before you get to the end of these structures. And so we saw what happened on the last one, and we did break down from that. So now that we've got a new low in, which incidentally did come from a prior pretty, how should I say, noteworthy consolidation level, and an RS flip level, if you will. We did get a bounce from here. That was structural and technical from a historical standpoint and the current structure. And so really, this is going to be a proving ground. 159-ish, 160-ish. Can we break above that? Then it's the 200. I would hate to see things break above here and then get rejected here at the 200-day moving average. But this is really going to be the more technical, more technically important, in my opinion, than just the structure here. But we're pinned in a range between the 21-day and the 50-day at the moment, which is almost has perfect correlation with the structure. And if we take this now back to candles, look at it on the weekly time frame, the 50-day moving average is right around where, the 50-week moving average is right around where that 200-day moving average is. So a lot of confluence in this area here. That's really, in my opinion, the level that Solana has to break in order to consider this a true breakout. And to the other side, I would say losing this support level down here would invalidate that, obviously, and then I would look for a retest of support at the 200-day moving average, 200-week moving average down here around $100. That's a target I was looking for when things were breaking down here, and unfortunately, I didn't get this one. I got shook out on a position here, took a trade, and then it wicked through, and so looking for another entry here, potentially on Solana, and just have to kind of watch and see what's happening. So let's go back to the Bitcoin chart, because I think we are in a situation where a high tide raises all boats. It's not just a flat out old school alt season. I think this is all things are moving together right now, and you can see that purple whale's doing a little bit of profit taking right here, little bit of support moving up, but it's not the end all be all yet, right? There's still lots of time in the trading day. Let's take a look at Solana and see if we can gain any insight to what's happening here. Big, strong resistance up here around that 160 mark. And so we saw some good buying, a little bit of profit taking happening right now. And look at this. It's pretty much empty below hand, pretty much empty down below. So I don't even need these filters on here. We can see what's going on. There's room. What's the path of least resistance right now? The path of least resistance is to basically go back to prior support. So I'm not enthusiastic about what I'm seeing just yet, unless we clear these technical levels that I just pointed out to you guys on the chart here. And look at this, moving into kind of a doji candle. This looks like a rejection at the moment. Will it hold the 21-week moving average? Right, we just bounced from the 21 day. The wicks below those are a bit of a compromise to me, a bit of a sign of weakness, despite this strength here, right? So let's switch on trend precognition and see if we have some signals that might correlate what's going on here. So you can see here we did have obviously a signal a couple of days ago. These are daily time frame signals, so they're only valid for that 24-hour period, right? So this obviously played out. And then we saw a bit of a momentum shift here with the A1 slope line down here on the trend precognition A1 algo. And we could see what this looks like here, right? So these are signals that print just like the arrows do, just a different algorithm. But this A1 slope line, this orange line here, moves in real time, similarly to how an RSI works, right? And so if I took this down to a 30-second or a 1-minute time frame, you would see it flickering, just like an oscillator. So this is showing a bit of momentum shift, not a huge one, but a slight momentum shift here on the daily time frame. On the weekly, things look stronger here for Solana. So let's take this now back to the candle chart, and we can see we do have an A2 plus signal here on the weekly. This basically means or indicates the price not likely to make a new low here, a lower low from last week's candle, and likely the week before, right? Look how close it was over the past 2 weeks. Didn't make a new low. So now watching to see if this holds here at this 21-week moving average to have an attempt to break out above this 170 level. So lots to focus on here. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for ETH, because it's kind of a similar set of circumstances, right? Lots of positive news on ETH, these new treasury companies now attempting to break. Look at this. Look at this. We have some interesting forces at work here on the ETH chart. On the daily time frame, we have literally a golden cross between the 50-day, that's the red 50-day, and the purple 200-day moving average. That is a nice bullish indicator. Can price hold above this? But watch, as we change time frames, we have a death cross about to form on the weekly time frame right here. Pretty much seems imminent unless we just get a rocket celery stick out of this. And on the monthly, support at the 50-month moving average. However, I guess I don't love the wicks below. Those are signs of weakness, but higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low are signs of that trend reversal that we just talked about. And on the quarterly, anything new on the quarterly for ETH? Well, let's turn it on, and we can see this. We talked about this a lot yesterday. Looks like this is going to be a strong quarter for ETH, right? Support off of that 21 moving average, coming off of a prior low, literally a low that went all the way down to the 2018 top. If you bought this, congratulations. Fantastic entry. Quite frankly, I think entries, anything, 2,500 has been solid for many years for Ethereum, with those occasional dips below. And so anything sub 2,500 to me is a pretty attractive entry on ETH, and it looks like it is making a run here as well. So let's take a look and see what the ETH order book looks like. Just want to quickly take a look back at Bitcoin and see if we have anything changing there. Because again, I think that Bitcoin is really the flagship here that is driving a lot of this. So look at this. Right now, we have support coming in for the moment at this 109K level. Let's see what's happening here. Is this building at all? A little more strength. Let's see. It was 33, 32, 33, 35. So just 35 million here at this level right now. So not stacking hard. I mean, if it breaks through here, then we could have a legit run at the all-time high here, because you can see there's not a lot of liquidity holding, really stacked between here at the moment. And so you've heard me say many times before, if you followed me for any length of time, that liquidity dampens volatility. And when there isn't, when liquidity is thin, like it is down here, price can move pretty fast and freely. When you start seeing bigger concentrations, it is more difficult for price to move through that. So, I mean, the fact that it's not straight ripping through is interesting to me. Gives the market a little bit of time to breathe. We can watch and see if things do develop here and add strength to this, or if we see potentially a roof pull that opens the door to more potential upside. ETH, we said we'd take a look at ETH on FireCharts, and let's do that. Similar set of circumstances, running into resistance, and a little bit of profit taking, but gosh, there's some strength here in the order flow at the moment. Now, whether this turns out to be a fake out still remains to be seen. We got to cross these levels for this to really present itself as a true, legit trend reversal. And that really, in a nutshell, is I think going across the board for what's happening in the market right now. I mean, we could look at if we looked at coin market cap, and I am freestyling here, guys, just kind of looking at what's happening in real time, and you can see that market wide, we're seeing some pretty good. We're seeing a lot of green in the charts right now, and if we want a market wide glimpse of what's happening, that's not what I wanted to see. If we want a market-wide glimpse of what's happening, then it's good to zoom out and get a sense of things. I think that again, that Bitcoin is the one to watch, and we can maybe draw some conclusions as to whether these other coins are going to cruise with it, or if Bitcoin rejects. Now here's what would be interesting. If Bitcoin rejects and the alts continue up, then you have a potential for an alt season dynamic, the kind that everybody has grown accustomed to over the years. And as I said yesterday and a few times already, I don't know that we're going to see the same kind of dynamic in an alt season that we've had in previous cycles. What it would require for that to happen, and look, there's a glimpse of it right now. It requires a drop in Bitcoin dominance. That's the light orange line up here. It requires an increase in total 3, which we see happening here. And it requires a decline in stablecoin dominance. So all 3 of those things are happening right this very moment. They weren't happening literally yesterday. So this would have to continue. This divergence between Bitcoin dominance and total 3 specifically needs to extend for this to develop into a real no-nonsense alt season. Otherwise, I think we're in that high tide raises all boats kind of a thing. LOLO says there's too many coins now to so that liquidity is spread too far. Select fuel pump. So that's certainly a valid point. There's so many alts out there that liquidity is spread a lot thinner than it used to be, and that makes it difficult, right? So this is why I think it's important to focus on quality, and why I'm interested in coins, or gaining interest in coins like Ethereum and Solana, that I wasn't so interested in them before. Yes, I owned them before. I traded them before, but most of my focus is on Bitcoin. And so now that I'm starting to see some institutional adoption of this on a grander scale, and now that we know that the floodgates are about to open when all this legislation passes potentially, and we have a more crypto-friendly market, not just for us traders and investors, but also for banks to start onboarding and working with crypto, this is going to be a complete paradigm shift. So this is why I think it's important to focus on quality. Not every shit coin and meme coin out there. Yes, you can make money on those, but you can also get wrecked real hard, real fast. Speaking from experience. That's all I got to say. So keep an eye on this divergence between the light orange up top here is Bitcoin dominance. The purple here is Total 3. I'm using Total 3 ES now, courtesy of TradingView, which is top 100 alts, top 100 cryptos, excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins. So this is a true representation, I think, of what the broader altcoin market is doing. And I think that that's something to keep focused on, especially if you're an alt, an alt enthusiast and you are hungry for an alt season. If we don't get that true alt season, I think what we get is something akin to what we saw after the November election, where Bitcoin and alts, as you can see here, soared together, right? So keep an eye on that. And, Bitcoin price went up, but you could see here the lighter orange is the Bitcoin dominance. So we did have that divergence. This was what you expect to see, is a divergence like this. Let me click some of let's see what I could do to clean this up a little bit for you. Let's go with this. Okay. So this makes it a little bit easier to see. We have this divergence between Total 3, that's the alts, going up while Bitcoin dominance was going down. This is what you want to see happen in an alt season. And you also want to see you want to see stablecoin dominance falling. So all of this happened here. This was the perfect storm from election day, but it was short-lived, right? So looking for this to potentially extend here, and that could give us this, an alt season that we've been looking for. Anthony, people keep saying alt season. It's a myth, just like the same people said 75K was the top for Bitcoin. Do I think there will be a full-blown alt season? No, but the T3 chart would look funny years from now if not. So I think, Anthony, I think that you and I are in agreement that we don't see alt seasons in the same manner that we saw them in previous cycles. This is an evolution. The market is maturing. So this is what you get. And I think there's opportunity to make big money on some of these alts if you do it wisely. If you are watching the data and managing your risk, choosing the right coins at the right time, obviously there's something in there for everyone. What was this? Do you think when they come on board, the supposed bear market of 2026 will be null and void? I can't. I really don't like to speculate. There will be future bear markets. Not sure when it happens, but there will be a cycle top, and there will be another bear market at some point in time. But it's really hard to know when that happens, especially considering the way this administration works. It might be a shortened bear market, but who knows? Let's see. Con, are altcoins all being fished out below on chain? I'm not exactly sure what you mean, Con. If you want to expand on that question or idea, then by all means, please do. I think that again, the market has been coiled up. Alts have been. Let's see if I get this to refresh. Alts have been really capitulating. Oh, look at this though. Look at what just happened. Just now, in the past couple minutes, we went from 35 million in resistance to 65 million in resistance. This, to me, is a sign that a rejection is coming. So let's just watch and see if we start seeing some profit taking here. Somebody obviously trying to keep price suppressed here from breaking out above 110. This is exactly what I've been looking for. This is exactly why I value FireCharts and looking at order book liquidity like this. When you see moves like this happening in real time, it can help you. Now, could this roof pull? Yes, absolutely it can. There's never 100% sure thing. But I will tell you that I did a little profit taking right here, just on how should I say? I'm shaping the tip of my pyramid, if you will, in my long-term hodl position. So my last entry, my highest entry, was at 106. I think there's a chance that we could sometime this month go lower, and so I may not get it, right? And I can tell you, I've been punished by this a lot lately. All right, I may not get an entry better than 106 at this point, because we now see some support moving up here in 108K. But I think this was kind of a trap to squeeze shorts, punish them. Late longs came in. I think I posted something a little while ago that, like, this is where this is where FOMO kicks in. I think I posted that on X, but and that was when we were sprouting this candle out of 108. So yeah, right. So this is what I'm watching for. Doge is another one I charted here this morning. We could take a look at that one really quick before we wrap this up. Look at this rejection right here on Solana. We could go to ETH and see if we have the same thing happening. Not yet. ETH is still pushing. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, ETH's still pushing here, which is nice to see. How about the old Litecoin? Litecoin also trying to establish a breakout, and has made it out of the structure here. And if we can get a close above this 100-day moving average, that would be strong for Litecoin. So let's go back to what I say. I was going to look at Doge real quick. Doge coming off of a support test at the 100-day move. That's a 100-week moving average. Let's go to the dailies real quick. So here's what I like about this move on Doge. Came from a prior RS flip zone around 0.158. You can see there's a good amount of history here. Let me clean things up a little bit. You can see a good amount of history here at this level. Lots of history at this level, dating all the way back to 2021. And so I do like that we have a bounce from there. One thing I would also look at is the timescape levels here. And this is something new that we have been developing at Material Indicators. It's a timescape indicator that shows us the annual opens, quarterly opens. You could set it to weekly, whatever you want. But we're finding that annuals and quarterlies and first week of those time periods have been acting as strong resistance and support. And you can see that we're coming into a zone here where Doge is running into prior resistance and support at these levels, right? So we just flipped one. We have another one really close by at about 17.175, we'll call it. And if it breaks this, then you've got a real nice shot at working your way to the top of the triangle here. So keeping an eye on these levels as well, I think is important. Any other coins you want to check out? Let's see. Keith, I'm looking for your X handle. Well, glad you're watching on YouTube. That's what that means. You're watching on YouTube. My X handle is KA Productions. And then the company handle is MI_algos for Material Indicators. So thanks, Con. I appreciate that. I'll put it in the chat for you. KA. And at MI_algos. Those are both on the X platform. Hope that helps you out, and glad to have you. So gosh, if you guys have any other coins you want me to take a peek at real quick, I'm happy to do so. Otherwise, I am going to wrap it up here and get back to trading myself here. I just want to zoom out a little bit and see if we have any other like serious movement of liquidity that would give us any other indications. But you can see things as we zoom out, the binning changes a little bit. So this is now what, almost 100 million in ask liquidity stacked here at 110K. Dare I say today's not going to be the day that we break through this. And the path of least resistance is back down in this direction. I like this 101, 102 level. I'll tell you why. If I take it into a tighter time frame, we can see where there's a little bit more strength. 101, 102, and if we look at this, how this correlates with what's on the candle chart, we do have the structure sitting right here at almost 102K. So attest to that level. Quite honestly, anything between this 21-day moving average and this 200-day moving average is fair game. Quite frankly, even the 2025 Open is fair game here. We could look at that on the timescape indicator, and you could see that this is another one you really want to keep an eye on. Bitcoin is one of the few that are trading above that yearly open in that first week of the year open. And so this is why I have confidence in this bull market continuing here. I just don't think that today is the day that we get this breakout. Not even sure that we get it this month. Anthony's asking for tier. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Let me see if it shows up on my tier USDT. I guess we could look at it on this guy. Trading below the yearly open, well below the yearly open, I might add. But what do we have here? We have kind of a, I've literally never looked at this coin in my life. So give me a moment. Had double bottoms here, double bottom bounce, came off this. Really a double top right here. And so what about at this point? Let's do a little something real quick. This is this is live real time freestyling right here, my brother. So let's just holding this trend line at the moment, right? So came right on. I mean, you see how that worked? You see how that just worked, like doing the line chart instead of the candle chart to draw these lines. Really, I encourage you to try this method, because look how perfect this worked, and you have a perfect support test off of that trend line. So obviously, you have some strong resistance, some technical resistance in these moving averages, and the one I would be concerned about is this death cross on the 21 and the green 21 and the blue 100-day moving average. This could lead to more short-term downward pressure, right? This momentum will continue. Let's see what this looks like on the weekly, see if we have anything better happening. Yeah, you just came off of a death cross between the 21 and the 100 week as well. So that gives me reason to have a little concern about this one at the moment. And monthly, you're out of the trend. So while it may have some short-term strength, it's going to be running into some short-term overhead resistance very closely in the 345 range. So be conscious of that. That gives you a little potential upside, but I'd be watching right here to see what happens. Let's go back to that Bitcoin chart one more time. And all right, whales are starting to profit take a little bit here. Yep. So I think that gives us a lot. Let's see. Tear. BCH has been on a 3-month tear. It has. You're absolutely right. Bitcoin Cash. We can take a look at that one. Let's go to and does anybody know why BCH has been doing that? Like, I haven't really followed it, to be honest with you. Like what's behind, what fundamentally is good. I've apparently charted this a while ago, back in December. And look at this. It bottomed off support off of a prior. What was this? This was the 2024 yearly open. Bottomed off support here, and now it has recently cleared. Let's get this out of the way. Recently cleared the 2025 open right here and the 2025 first week of 2025 open right here. So yeah, I do like this move right here for Bitcoin Cash. And if we wanted to maybe draw a little channel in here, we could go grab our parallel channel tool and do a little artwork here. Rough and down and dirty, but hitting midline of support of resistance right here. Let's see what happens, right? Coming to a pivotal point for Bitcoin Cash. It could conceivably, break much higher, right? So definitely looking like a stronger, it's in a stronger position, I would say. Let's see if we have any trend signals on this guy. Well, down on the daily means not likely to top yesterday's high today. That doesn't mean tomorrow. That means today. On the weekly chart, no signals on the weekly chart. Had a weak, you can see down here, this is the trend precognition strength indicator for this A2 algo up here. And you can see there was a weak signal here, a week long signal, but not strong enough to print an arrow. And on the monthly, no new signals on the monthly. On the quarterly, nice new signal here, but actually not a very strong one. This is 31% probability on this. So not a super strong signal, but a signal nonetheless. And we don't get very many of these. So this bodes pretty well for Bitcoin Cash at this stage. All right. So with that, guys, I think we, Anthony, did I address everything that you were asking about? Near. You said near, not tier. Oh, okay. You're making me work, man. Near. Also below its yearly open. And so that in itself is something to be mindful of. You can save yourself a lot of headaches if you just wait for it to clear this level. Obviously, there's a little bit of upside between here and there, but you can see it's been in a downtrend. We have let's go to the daily first. Daily. Have a little signal here on the daily trend. That's pretty much, we're seeing this across the board on a lot of coins. Same thing on the weekly, looks positive. monthly. You got a signal here from the A1 algo down here, which is good. So we've seen it on daily, weekly, monthly. How about the 3-month? No signals on the 3-month, but quite frankly, there's not enough history here. Trend precognition requires history to print signals. So we have a slight. You can see down here on the strength meter, 21, 21.6 probability is not strong enough to actually print an arrow for us up here on the A2 algo. So I'm not excited about that one just yet. We could take a look at near on FireCharts and see what that looks like. It looks like a heap of resistance, and I say a heap. It's relative. Like, I mean, look how low liquidity, how low the liquidity is on this coin versus some of the other coins. Now, it's only 480,000 right here at this level, but that's a lot considering the brightest spot on the chart, highest level of liquidity is only 500,000. So this is pretty strong resistance right here for near. All right. Well, I'm glad I could entertain you nonetheless. Either way, this has been a fun analysis, guys. I really appreciate all the engagement and all the questions, and it's always fun charting with you guys. I'm going to leave you with a parting shot of that Bitcoin chart. Oh, you know what I need to leave you with? So, by the way, if you're interested in any of these tools, I encourage you to check out this sale that we're having at Material Indicators. 25% off every single plan, including lifetime plans. So all retail plans, including lifetime, getting 25% off. You can find the link and the promo code on the Material Indicators X channel. And where is it? I'll pin it to the top for you guys. How about this? Pinned. So there you go. 25% off. You go Premium Plus, you get everything, every single retail product we make. Trend precognition, the MTF mean reversion indicator, FireCharts 2.0, bunch of metrics, institutional grade crypto market metrics in the MI dashboard. There is a lot for you to see and do and play with and work with in that bundle. Check it out at materialindicators.com. Link again is in the pinned message on the Material Indicators X page, or you can also find it in our Telegram channel. If you haven't joined that, it's free. Come do it. Again, it's a fun one, guys. Thanks for joining me. Hope you will take advantage of this offer. It is, quite frankly, the opportunity cost of not doing this right now. Forget the price. Aside from the 25% savings, you're going to have this is a pivotal time in the market. You don't want to be making speculative decisions. You want to be able to use the data to make the decisions that are going to mitigate risk and help you make more money. And if I didn't prove it to you right here, I don't know what else to do for you. Have a great day, guys. And as always, trade safe, my friends.